Hello, and welcome to the show. We're in with us with the unbeliever, the atheists. We today we make a bit of fun by making a tier list. Sorry, I interrupted myself a bit. We're going to make a tier list of bad religions. The better they score, the higher on the list, the better is the worse they are. In today's episode of The Global Atheists. Sorry, I got a bit
Hey,
confused. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Sandria. Good to see you again.
Same here.
And
I have a question. What's the NPO live or NPA live on your upper right screen? Is that some?
I took this picture from last Wednesday. Yes, last Wednesday. The Tour de France Fun cycling event started from Rotterdam, and this was a helicopter picture. So NOS is the Dutch public newscaster, and this is the channel number 1.
Ah,
I
cool,
mean,
cool.
in Rotterdam, it's the Erasmusbrug, and here behind the white bit, wrong. There is my office, or at least the building in which my office sits.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Someone likes his job, it seems.
exactly. Anyway, a tier list. What we are going to do is we take turns, choose one religion we like to talk about, and we try to agree on a tier. And the tiers from the very bad ones are criminal organizations and down to more good than bad. And let's start. Elma, will you start?
well, the one that I really know a lot about because I was in there is the Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
To me, I will rank it in, let me see, clear and present danger. If if I had to pick anything, it will be clear and present danger or avoid if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I have had only very little contact, but some with Jehovah's Witnesses. First of all, the people who ring at the door to convert you. But I got rid of them quite easily. But through my sister, who's a primary school teacher, she had a handful of children in her classes who were children of Jehovah's Witnesses, and that was a bit difficult.
Yeah, it is. Why did I say that it's a clear and present danger? Because I know that most of people knows about their policy regarding blood transfusions,
Yes.
but they don't know how serious that is. That they will be willing to let their kids die instead of getting a blood transfusion. Like
Yep.
that's how serious they are into that.
That's something I don't have a clear understanding. I have two questions. Firstly, a little more explanation on the blood transfusion thing, and secondly, did you also go door to door and talk to people when you were part of it?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah,
That's something I
and
don't see myself ever doing. Like other than the religious aspect itself, like talking to people
to
by
me
going
it
to their
was
door, it's not something I can
torture.
do.
To me it was torture because I was like 12, 13 years old. And imagine me just going and talk to like a homeowner in their house on
Oh, that's bad.
Saturday, and they're like, ah, no.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
just teach you how to speak in public? Well, mostly to the men or guys in any age. They will like teach you how to give a speech and everything. Uh, but for women, we're like only have a book that we have like preset answers. So whenever you ask anything to a Jehovah's Witness, you will most likely won't get the response from them. You get a response from a preset answer in a book that they have.
I must admit that I once asked when two young women rang at my door, their introduction, and yeah, sure, come in. I gave them something to drink and tell me what you want to tell me. And let them talk for a few minutes, and then I started to ask questions that became pointed. And quite soon I found out that they are indeed following a script, which they apparently memorized,
Hmm.
which I think is quite something. I mean, it's not easy to memorize a script.
Yeah, we do have like sessions where we're giving like I said, we're given a book where it says what if the homeowner is Catholic, this is what you can say. You can say this, this, and this. If they are like evangelicals, you can say this, this, and this other. They're atheists, there is something else that you have to say.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's not a conversation. It's mostly that they will be following the script.
and of course I did my best to derail their script, which wasn't particularly difficult.
And regarding the blood,
Yeah,
there
yeah, yeah.
is a mandate on the Bible to abstain of sacrifices to other gods, but it does mention the blood in there. But it was because the blood was used on sacrifice to other gods, like they will use it to sprinkle it into the altars, and even the Hebrews they will do the same, you know. And
uh,
at that time, it was not like they could go to the butcher shop and get a piece of meat, right? So most of the temples will sell meat to the people, and what they were saying in there in the Bible that do not go to those places and consume their meat and the blood with it. So they used that part, just that do not consume the meat and the blood, and they just remove the entire context. And now they are just using that as you should abstain from blood, and that's it. That's all they see, and there is no power in anywhere or any type of reasoning that you can apply to them that they will stop like, well, your mom is dying, she needs an medical intervention, she needs the blood. No, 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 no. Jehovah said no, and that's it. That's what they follow.
yes, yes. Unfortunately, every so often, the Jehovah's Witnesses themselves or their children die because of that in the Netherlands. I mean, it doesn't have. Jehovah's Witnesses is a very small community in the Netherlands. I mean, we're talking about a few thousand people. And maybe a few tens of thousands of people, on a population of 17 million. It's a small community.
Yeah.
But yes, it happens. I mean, it's for similar reasons it's so bad, like some conservative Dutch Calvinist sects or churches are anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, that's true. They were somebody just pointed out in chat that they used to be anti-vaxxers.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's it's similarly bad in my opinion. And in the Netherlands, weirdly enough, vaccinations are voluntary. Parents decide, and
Oh.
Most people, because it's government organized, government paid, most parents go through the thing, but the number has been shrinking a bit in the last, let's say, since anti-vaxxing became a thing on the internet. The vaccination conspiracy believers, or I don't know what to call them. But the number that did so for religious reason has been quite small, but because every few decades, when I grew up, there was a polio outbreak in those places. And yes, that was, of course, very terrible.
Yeah.
Sounds like natural selection.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I wouldn't mind if people, adults, would die because of that.
Yeah.
But
The children.
that's the point. It's the children.
Yeah.
They are essentially sacrificing their children for their beliefs.
Correct.
I think I agree with clear and present danger. Do you,
Okay.
Andreas?
Yeah, I think that sounds fair. Like they're not at the criminal level simply because they don't have as much power under their hand as some other religions. But yeah, I think it sounds fine.
There we go. Andreas, your turn.
What will be next in line? Let's see. What do you want to pick, Sandra?
Actually, I want to go with Church of Satan.
The
Church of Satan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I think I'll say yeah. It's
I think it's in the middle. Down.
last row after
Last
the
row
Naruto like thing.
after the spiral.
Yeah, after the spiral, last row after the spiral, second to the spiral.
Damn it.
Yeah, just below that.
Below that. Yeah. There it
This
is.
one. There we are.
Yeah.
Theistic Satanism. Yes, interesting.
Yeah. Wait, I can see there are two like that. What's the difference between Satanism and Church of Satan? I know they're a bit different, but which is what? I am a bit
Yeah, I
confused about
think
this.
one of them is like one of them they actually believe that
Yeah, I know. I'm talking
Satan,
about Church
and
of Satan.
the other
Yeah,
one is
it's a parody. I know, I know.
yeah. I
I
don't know which
think
I don't know. I'm not sure
yeah.
in the names. I'm sorry.
I'm also not sure
Let
which
me
symbol is that.
zoom in a bit. Can you see better now?
Okay, it's the black one. I mean, darker one.
It's a black one then.
Atheistic Satanism. Very well.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's the one.
yeah. I'll say it's more good than bad because it's simply, it's simply about people just making a point. They don't really believe in Satan and all. And I like parodies like that because it is using a loophole, and I know they're actually described as a religion in the government books because they found a loophole, they used it, and they used it right, and I'm proud of that.
Oh yeah.
I must admit that I admire what they do, and particularly, of course, in a US context, which I am, of course, an outsider.
Yeah,
They,
they're not that influential outside of America.
no, I mean, I seem to remember there's a Dutch chapter of one of those Satan's churches, whatever, in Amsterdam. I have no idea how many people that is about and what they believe and what they do. I simply don't know. But
They I got to interact with one person who I know is a member of the Church of Satan, Uh, he is a friend of ours, like not exactly close of mine, but a lot of people from Skeptic Heaven know him. It's Neil. You know, Neil, the 606 atheist, 604 atheist, I think, the Canadian guy.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, he has joined that, and he like in the interview on which he had me, he showed his card. So basically, they have few rituals, which is just just textbook thing to have a check mark that you have done it. But even that is parody, and you get a proper card and all. The card is cool. Like you have a proper symbolism, membership card, and all. It's fun. I really like what they're doing. Good job. Yeah, Neil the Six of Forest. Yeah, correct. Infidel has the right answer. That's the guy I'm talking about. And I let me answer one short question
Oh, I
from
think
Raymond.
I also found this. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I think this is it.
Yeah. This is it.
The tenants.
Yes.
I think I like what they say about those. They're I think they're way better than the the Bible one.
Yeah. And they're completely a parody. It's not like let's say for example, if we compare to Buddhism,
Yeah.
Buddhism is actually a religion. Like it's not a parody. I know it's much better than a lot of other options people have, and the founder was a bit of an atheist, if I'll say. But
Hmm.
it's still a religion, at least in today's context. But this is a complete parody. This has nothing to do with God, absolutely nothing. So, and I really liked what they did.
Shout out for Neil.
Yeah, sort of funny. Yeah, and let me answer a short question of Raymond, which is: are there many Jehovah's Witnesses in India? I don't think so. Like I have never encountered with anyone,
Hmm.
and I'll. It's hard to say that it is zero. I'm not. I'm sure it's not 0% because we are the most populated country in the world, and religious stupidity is pretty rampant here. So I'm pretty sure we'll find some portion of people who qualify as Jehovah's Witness here, but I have never interacted with one in my life. So
Okay.
I'm sure it's not zero, but negligible.
So I do agree that it's more good than bad.
Yeah, I agree.
That yep.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
Hail Satan.
Help
Um,
Satan.
I'll stick to a smallish one, but a very divisive one. Scientology.
Ah.
Oh, you.
Mm.
Where
Yes.
where
Where
is
is it? It's somewhere
it
near the end.
in
Oh,
your
there we
hand?
are.
Oh, there it
There
is.
we are. Scientology.
The
The,
S.
Ah.
I was in a personal conflict with the church, or not. I've never been a member, but friends of mine were, and I know their plight,
Hmm.
and got into the critical movement of Scientology in the 1990s. And that meant that I made videos critical of Scientology and stuff like that. And at one moment, I got an email by a lawyer in name of the Church of Scientology, the Netherlands, to cease and desist.
Whoa.
I never answered to that and never cared, and nothing came from it. But in the same spree, a good friend of mine, Karin Spank, got into a long winding lawsuit and appeal to the Supreme Court circuit of almost 5 years.
Wow, 5 years.
Did
Yes,
he win it though? He
yes,
should, technically, he should.
yes.
Ah,
Wow.
nice.
Yes. Karin, not just Karin, she was just one of many people summoned, including Exfrol,
Ah, nice.
that's an internet service provider. Um, uh, I don't have a list in my head at the moment, but if I can look it up. And no, that was a big win, to use a Scientology word. And no, the thing is, of course, Scientology is, as I see it, just there for your money.
Yeah, and it's so
Yeah, and
obvious. It's so obvious that I just I'm just amazed how so many people fall for it because it's way too obvious.
Yes,
yeah, it's obvious that it's just a scam.
yes.
But I think there is something that makes it not too obvious. I'm going to place an example that how they work here in Mexico. They don't even use the Scientology name because I think they already know the connotation and everything that happened in the media. So they use the name of Dianetics. And what they do is that they
Ah,
try to come up to you like, oh, this is not a religion. We are just trying to give you tools, psychological tools, so you can make your life
ah.
better. So in that manner, well, people said, oh, well, this is kind of makes sense. So that's how they capture a lot of people. Like they're trying to say, oh, if you do this, it's going to make your work life
And of course,
better.
the personality test.
Yes.
The personality test is the first
Yes.
engagement. They ask somebody who is interested or something like that to fill in a personality test for no particular
Mhm.
reason. But when people do that, weirdly enough, there's always some defect they
Exactly. Yeah,
find.
there is something always wrong with you that they can help you with.
Exactly, using an e-meter, which is essentially
Uh,
electronic gadget that measures
like a lie
skin.
detector, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, not really.
It's
Just
not. They make you think it's like a lie detector. It's not. It's just like people are
yes,
guessing.
yes, yeah. But I mean,
Ah,
what it does is essentially measure skin resistance electrically,
Oh,
and
okay.
some dials move, and that means something. It,
Oh,
that makes sense.
I found one that does exactly the same as the ones that they have. Look.
Why
oh,
does it look like a
pretty.
camera? It looks like some kind of action camera that a professional would use for underwater photography.
Yeah, I think this is
I think this is just the toy that are making fun of it, but
it's a
I mean,
joke,
just
but
the joke.
by
Okay.
the way, the idea of two handles that you're supposed to each hold one in each hand, and there in the center there's the dial,
The dial. Uh-huh.
the dial. And
Ah,
from what when it moves, from how it moves, and there is some oracle. There's of course a training for that, for which you must
ah,
pay
not surprised.
to learn to use an e-meter and understand what the dial means.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to make sense. It's just how they,
Is how they work? Yeah. Exactly.
because I mean, deeper understanding. Once you clear that one, there is a deeper level where you need to pay for, of course, for the courses, and they teach you some other useless skill or simple nonsense, and that goes on and on and on until I mean, clear is some halfway point that you're down something like $100,000
Yeah.
US. Um,
And then there is more levels, and I think every year
and
they're adding more levels because
exactly,
it never stopped.
Ah,
and that goes on till you're out of money.
Yeah.
And then they'll ask, oh, but you can ask your friends and family for a loan. So you're almost there.
Yes.
And when they cannot pay you or won't pay you anymore because you screwed them out of their money, um, you get spit out.
Yeah. You are not of no use anymore. So
Exactly. And if you
yeah.
protest, you've become a suppressive person, an SP, and those can be that's something like a medieval outcast. Anyone can do to them what they like. Killing them is not a crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're terrible.
I
And
think that even Tom Cruise in the video where he laughs uncontrollably and in a very weird manner, he talks about that, saying like, "No suppressive person can go near me because I cancel it," or something like that.
well, I suppose he believes it. He paid dearly for it.
Yeah. But the thing is that at the end of all of that, this is what they actually believe.
Yeah. I have looked into that. They even the guy, the Scientology guy, I mean the founder or someone close to him, actually made a movie based on the dumb shit they believe in. Yeah, it did flop for obvious reasons, but they made a sci-fi movie and still somehow
Oh yeah,
people.
the one that is with John Travolta, right? Because John
Oh, yes,
Travolta
of
is
course.
also there. They made like
Ah,
a
yeah. John Travolta is there.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I have no intention of watching the entire movie, but I have seen clips from it, and damn, it's so bad.
Yes, that was. So I propose a criminal organization.
Yeah,
Yeah,
straight up,
yeah, definitely.
definitely.
Because I also heard about they have a place where they kidnap people and
Wait, what?
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I know of several cases in which people in their custody, not necessarily voluntarily, died.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
as in, I mean, dear God, what was her name again? Lisa, something.
There it
McPherson.
is.
Lisa McPherson.
I found it. I remember about that because it was near where I used to live. It was in Riverside,
oh,
so they have like a facility there where they will send people that they
Yes,
will call like retraining camp or something for people who was in danger of getting out. They
yeah.
will kind of kidnap him and take him there.
And people died there.
Yeah,
We're not in any way trying to behave, um, well, I mean, let's say humanely. No, that's not. They're terrible.
oh. And
yeah,
somehow everything that these Scientology people name sounds kinky for some reason. They call it the whole. It's
yeah,
that's what they came out with. The guy they and that guy they believe in, they call it Zenu. Everything sounds kinky with them. That's so weird.
yeah.
Okay, shall we move on?
Okay, let's move
Yes.
on to the next one.
Elma, your turn.
Let's see. 1 second. It's just that I need to. Let's see. Maybe we can talk about what is this?
Oh, let me
The
zoom in a
the
bit.
flying spaghetti monster.
Ah, yes, of course. Yes.
Since we had like one that it was like really serious, I will like this one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. I think that's a good alternative we can do.
Yeah.
But the flying spaghetti monster, it didn't get much traction in my nation. I mean, I know that some people have tried to get a passport picture of them with a colander on their head, approved for use on passport, driving license, something like that.
Yeah.
And eventually, even the Supreme Court decided, no, it's a rubbish religion. This is not covered by religious freedom. Take off the bloody colander.
I love
Yeah,
this. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
the
yeah.
art.
Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, I love the art as well. It's so cool. That's why I did not recognize the symbol. I was searching for something that looks more like a spaghetti, but that iconography I did not exactly recognize. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's really cool. I mean, the art is really cool.
yeah.
Yes,
Whoever
yes,
came up with this
Then
is
it
great.
is.
A
It
genius.
is what you were saying regarding the.
yeah, exactly.
He boiled for our sins. Ah, there it is.
Yeah, that's the idea. A picture like that for your passport.
For your driver's license too, I think, because it was a
Yeah,
religious headwear. I mean,
yeah, yes. I mean, weirdly enough, the hijab is permitted for such pictures.
It's not weird to be honest. Like it's dumb but not weird. It's pretty expected.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's something, there is some discussion about that. And of course, the people with the colander on the head are making some point in that debate. I'm not quite sure which point, by the way.
I think it's kind of like the point that it was with, with the Satanic Temple.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
if
but
you want to impose your religion, well, let's see how you fend against my religion.
yeah. But I'll say it did not achieve what Church of Satan has been able to achieve, and for mainly two aspects. Firstly, people who are part of Church of Satan are very clear about what they're doing. Like no one is religious, no one is actually taking it seriously. They know what they're getting into. But when you look at the flying spaghetti monster thing, somehow some people got serious about it and became actual believers. I don't know how that happened, but that happened. So that's a huge miss
Yes.
there. And
Yeah,
the other thing is, when it comes to putting the point across, they haven't been that successful in doing that either. So, like, I'll say it's not. It's just May.
yeah, I think it's just me. But you know what? I do have proof that the spaghetti monster exists in each one of us.
I think it's. Is it the brain or the intestine? Ah,
And
yeah. Right. Sorry, the nervous system. Yep, I did see that. Yep. Yeah, I know. So the idea was really great. The whole art surrounding it, the whole lore surrounding it.
yeah.
That's great. Right,
I
very
mean,
well done. But it did not.
I must admit that a similar, let's say, satire religion is the
Oh,
invisible pink unicorn.
yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
Not me neither.
Oh,
The
that's the religion of the invisible pink unicorn. That
uh-huh.
she
Pink unicorn. What's
is the most powerful being in the world. And
Oh wow.
she is a being. She's invisible, but she's pink unicorn.
Acha,
Wow.
invisible pink unicorn.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay,
Invisible pink
okay.
unicorn. Okay,
and
I'll look
Oh,
for it.
fuck.
pink un-
Okay.
and
Ah,
pink
nice.
unicorns are beings of great spiritual power because we know that they're invisible because we can't see them,
That's
but
true.
we
Yep. Can confirm.
believe that they are pink.
Okay.
And so it must be true.
Yeah. And you cannot prove otherwise. I mean, can you prove that it's not real?
And I mean, there's a bit more theology about the pink unicorn. Read it at your leisure. But in general, it's a bit more refined than the flying spaghetti monster.
Okay.
But eventually,
This is
just a joke.
blasphemy. That's not
Yes,
pink enough. This is blasphemy.
yes.
Okay, this is cool. This is something I didn't know about. I'll definitely look into the pink unicorn thing.
I wanted to share the comment here that it says the headwear is a common thing. Like Sikhs are exempt from
Yeah,
motorcycle
yeah, yeah.
riding laws. Like,
That's the thing. It's common. It's pretty
wow,
common.
I didn't know that they could do that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, they could. It's
Well,
this is they're exempted from this in a lot of countries, including
mhm,
India, of course. But
okay.
I'm not sure about America, but I'm pretty sure this is the case in Canada.
I'm
Oh,
not aware it's a thing in the Netherlands, even though we have some other weird exemptions knocking about.
hmm,
But I'm not aware that Sikhs apply. But I should also add that Sikh religion is a very tiny minority.
yeah.
We're talking about maybe a few hundred immigrants who live in the Netherlands, something like that. I have no clear idea.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So what will be next?
yeah,
Let's do Sikhism since it came up.
Sikhism. Yeah, it's on the list. It's on the
On
list.
the list.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I did note. Yeah, beside the green
Oh,
one,
there we are.
first
Yeah,
row
There
beside
it is.
green.
Sikhism. No, Shiism. Sorry.
It's like,
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, it's in that row. Go a little towards the right. You will find two shorts. It's in dark black. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just the
oh,
left
there
row.
we are. Yeah, there
Yeah.
we are.
there it is.
Sikhism. I know very little about it.
Ye- yeah, basically, they have some gurus. It's basically the whole prophet thing. They call them gurus.
Okay.
And there's the founder who is Guru Nanak. And there are nine gurus. I think the number might be off by one or two. And their tenets come from the teachings of the gurus. And they have a Guru Granth Sahib, which is the book. The, the guru is the guru, basically teacher. Guru means
Okay.
teacher in Hindi and some other Indian languages. And Granth is basically a book. A big book is called Granth in Hindi and a few other Indian languages. And Saab, I'm not sure what the term is referring to, but the holy book is basically Guru Granth Sahib. That's the whole thing. It emerged from a specific part of
Oh,
India,
okay.
which is Punjab, which is why most of the Sikhs are also Punjabis by uh, ancestry and descendants. But you don't necessarily have to be a Punjabi to be a Sikh, of course. But that's how they came up to be.
Okay.
And coming to the headwear exemptions they get, the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
a
Oh,
Sikh guy cannot cut his hair ever. That's part of
never?
their religious. Yeah, no, never. That's part of their
So
religious
that's why they
identity.
have. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why they have the turbans. So they tie their hair, then they tie the turban over it. And since the turban is pretty
Oh.
big, it's quite bulky. It's not like let's say caps and hijabs and stuff like that, which is single layer. So it's pretty thick. You cannot wear a helmet over that. And since Sikh has to wear the turban and has to not cut his hair to be a proper Sikh, it makes sense that they get a exemption. It's dumb in some way, but when you look into how sentiments work, it makes sense.
No, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
found this document just in case if anybody wants to consult it. His here is what just Sandra just said regarding like their text, the Nanak.
Yeah, that's the founder.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
Guru
All of
Granth
them.
Sahib. That's the
Yeah.
book.
now that
Like
you
they.
mentioned the turban, just a few days ago in the city centre, I saw a gentleman with a large Sikh type turban,
Mhm.
but I don't think I see one every year. So
Maybe
that's
they're
how.
not that common there. The other thing is, you know, when Sikhs started migrating to other places, the Western world specifically, they were the minorities there, obviously, and unsurprisingly, being minorities, they also got bullied for the way, the specific kind of way they look due to the hair and turban and the stuff. So
Okay.
some part of them started to move out of that identity stereotype. So they started cutting their hair, stop wearing turban, and they are in Bengali and Hindi. They are called, I forgot the Hindi term, but in Bengali they are called chuti kata sheikh. So chuti is basically hair and kata is cut. So like a sheikh who has cut his hair. So they are a sub branch of Sikh in a way. So it's not like a complete different religious identity, but since they made some compromises, they are, you know, a bit looked down upon by other Sikhs who have not made the sacrifice or compromise in a way. Hence, you will
Oh, I
also,
see.
yeah, hence you will also come across uh, Sikhs in Europe, Canada, not much in America, I'll say, because by the
And
time they migrated to America,
I
In Britain,
think in the US. Mhm.
I regularly meet Sikhs. I mean, meet as in see them in the street, kind of meet.
yeah, 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 they're part of there as well. But yeah, then again, like if you are meeting a Sikh who has, made that compromise, you won't exactly recognize him in a
No,
first
no,
glance.
of course not. But I mean, the ones who are visibly wearing the garb and all that. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm well aware that, I mean, we have a similar thing in the Netherlands with Muslims.
Yeah, yeah, I was just about to go there. Like, usually, Orthodox Muslim will wear hijab and all that clothing-based identities, but it will be difficult to recognize a Muslim who doesn't do that, even if they might be religious.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So, what I wanted to say also regarding this, that I think, and I'm not quite sure, but I think there is a politician in the US that is sick. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is. I'm not remembering his name right either,
Sick.
but yeah, there is. I think he's leading the Green Party,
I
something
think
like that.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's the exact leader, but one of the leading bodies of the Green Party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but yeah, I've heard about him. Correct.
Okay. Well, now that we mention it, maybe we can go with the Muslim. Where is the tier where we're going to put
Yeah. Hang
this
on. There's one
religion?
thing I remember.
The Sikh
Um,
religion, where is
yes, no,
in
no,
the
hang on.
tier?
I'm not quite done
Ah,
about the Sikhs yet.
okay.
Um, if memory serves,
Hmm.
Indira Gandhi, Prime Minister of India,
Okay.
was killed by bodyguards of Sikh extraction.
Yeah,
Oh.
you're correct. You're correct.
What
If
was
you're
that about?
Yeah, 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 yeah. See, if you bring that up, I'll have to give a little bit of backstory. I'll try to keep it short.
Hmm.
So, you know, just like in 99% of the religion, people are promised some kind of holy land. So the Sikhism is not divided of that; it's also part of Sikhism, and that undivided Sikh land in Sikhism is called Khalistan. So you might have heard of the term Khalistan or Khalistani movement because that is the extremist branch of Sikhism. And what happened was India got partitioned during the independence, and during that partition, the Punjab got divided into India and Pakistan. So, like, there is Indian Punjab and Pakistani Punjab. Now it's divided into two countries, and slowly a movement gained in order to unite the land and form a separate nation because even though Sikhs are relatively popular in India, and Sikhism is relatively popular in India, it's still, a minority community thing, even if they are doing better than most other minority communities here. And that does lead to, unsurprisingly, discrimination. And so
Oh.
a combination of all that led to a movement where they wanted to get separated from India as a nation and form a separate nation on the promised land, which is Khalistan, and the movement was called Khalistani movement. That movement gained traction during the period of Indira Gandhi's rule,
Hmm.
and it did get really bad. Like, it got really extremist form, like terrorist organizations and stuff. It got to that level, so it did become a national threat. But in order to curb that national threat, she also made some not so good decisions. Like there's a holy temple of Sikhism. It's not the only one. There is one temple that is, the most holy place for them, which is the Golden Temple in Amritsar. Amritsar is a place in India. It's in Punjab.
There were quite some to-dos about that later in the 1990s, I think.
Yeah, during Indira Gandhi's rule,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And unsurprisingly, a religious terrorist organization will use a religious place to get their operations done. So they did use the Golden Temple for their operations, and when it came to clashes with authorities, they tried to use that as an advantage and hide there because they knew it's a holy place, it's a sensitive place. Unlike, let's say, they hid in a building, the Indian government can just blow up the entire building, but they cannot do to the same thing to a place that sentimental to that huge part of a population. They're minority, but there's not a few thousand people. There's still a huge number.
Mm.
So, but at the end, the final decision that she came up with was finally attacking the militants within the temple. So, although she did not exactly destroy the temple as a whole, but she did command an attack inside the temple, and that operation was called Operation Blue Star. If you are, if you're curious about it, if you look into Operation Blue Star, you'll somehow get the whole story. You can just follow up the Wikipedia article; it's good enough. Uh, and that offended a lot of people for obvious reasons. Although I understand both sides of the story. It did become a national threat. It did become important, but at the same time, it is also an important place for a lot of people, and civilians did also die. The goal wasn't to kill civilians, but the goal was to curb the militant movement and send a clear message. And civilians did die in that operation.
Oh, see.
Uh, yeah, as a result, there's a lot of backlash from the Sikh community, and Sikhs are right from the point of their inception, the whole formation of the religion and all. They grew up around wars, so they became a religion of the warrior class. So Sikhs are good soldiers, and they are known for bravery. I know it's a bit of dogmatic stereotyping, but it's true to some extent also. Hence, a lot of people in the Indian armed forces are Sikhs, and the bodyguards of Indira Gandhi were also Sikh, mainly two prominent people. And she decided to keep them against a lot of advice because he wanted to show that, look, I have people on my team who understand the decision I took. But
Mhm.
at the end, they did finally decide to assassinate her, and that's how it happened. So that terrorist movement, which is the Khalistani movement, has died out. People, the Sikhs living in India, don't really push it, but it is prominent in among Sikh communities living outside of India. For example, a lot of Khalistani militants use Canada as a safe base because,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and that is a bit problematic. I understand that Sikhs are a big portion of Canadian population. So the government is a bit, playing it safe in an appeasement way so that they don't lose confidence of that huge portion of the population. But at the same time, playing it so safe that you become a safe haven for militant groups is not a good move. So that's a bit of tension, cause of tension between Indian and Canadian government. There's a bit other dumb reasons as well, but this is a valid reason between a bit of tension between us.
I must admit that this is the only bad thing I at least remember from Sikhism or coming from Sikhism or being connected to Sikhism. I read a bit of their ideas and also practice, which seems fine.
Yeah, that's the thing. An average
I mean,
Sikh,
as I understand it, it's quite a community-driven
yep,
religion,
yeah, it is.
and I mean that's definitely not a bad thing. And I mean, I picked up something like that temple in Amritsar, for instance. You can always go there and have a meal.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's. I think. So this is a part of the whole Sikh tenant system, which is. This is something a system shared with Islam, which is contributing a part of your resources and earning to the temple bodies, and then using the resources collected for welfare. So they have a system of langar, which is the meal you are talking about thing, where anyone can go and get a meal. Like it doesn't matter which religion you are from. You go, you just follow a few basic rules covering your head and stuff like that, just as a sign of respect. Uh, and you get a meal. And it's one of the largest kitchens in world, fitting, I don't know, lots of people every day maybe. So yeah, there are parts of the culture that is good, but it's still a religion, so it still has its fair share of problems. And delay, the dilemma in this scenario is that the Khalistani movement, and there are sects of Sikh culture who are extremist, but you cannot really put the blame on the entire Sikh community.
Of course not.
Yeah, yeah. And like most of the religions,
Yeah,
they also
exactly.
have like a fringe group that goes all
Yeah.
the way into the.
And as I mean, as religions grow larger, that becomes clearer. More of them, different forms of extremism. I mean, as in we didn't talk about Christianity much yet,
Yeah.
is of course extreme. I have been
Yeah.
looking at it for my train, but where do we put Sikhism?
That's
I think for the size of it, I will vote it on meh because
no, it's
it's not
not.
like
I don't
they
think
may
it's
try to
that low.
expand or anything. It's not that bad.
Not so bad.
Not so bad.
My idea. I mean, there are bits that, what we talked about.
Hmm.
Not so bad. It is.
I think it should be higher. I feel I'll say it's avoid if you can. Uh, the reason being, see, they are not that huge of a culture, because when you look at not just Sikhism, if you look at most of the religions that came out of Indian subcontinent,
Hmm.
conversion and expanding into other people wasn't a thing, because most of them grew without competition. Uh,
Oh, okay.
Conversion is a huge thing in Abrahamic religions because they all grew in competition. You know, Christianity was competing against paganism and
Hmm.
Judaism. Then Islam was competing against Judaism and Christianity. So bringing in people and increasing the people is a huge part of the religion, but that's not the case with religions in the South Asian region, be it Sikhism, be it Hinduism, be it many other. But they have a lot of problems, and they're not as less of a people as you would think. And
Hmm.
I don't want to point out the extremism part as whole of Sikhism, so I won't maybe not put them in the level of Jehovah's Witness or something like that. They have their problems, but not so serious that they'll let people die for their dumb beliefs. But still, they have their problems. I'll say avoid
Will
if you
be
can.
like a bad idea then, maybe, or avoid if you can.
I, I'll I would settle for avoid if you can.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, I was looking at a particular sect of
Which one?
Roman Catholicism. Ah, there we are. Roman
Woo!
Catholic Church.
The
Huh.
Catholic Church.
I
I
It's
haven't
grew
seen
up.
that symbol
huge.
before.
Yeah, that's the Roman. That's the symbol of the Vatican.
Yes, the keys are
Oh.
St. Peter's key to heaven.
Yeah,
Huh.
and the crown of the Pope.
Yes,
Huh.
I'm not. I was not raised with religion, and it was around that I was 10 years old that my parents and my family moved to a part of the country where was predominantly Roman Catholic. I went to
Hmm.
Roman Catholic schools, um, and I mean, I well remember that for secondary school, I had to have a chat with the principal because, well, I'm not a Catholic. How do we go about that? He was fine with that, and that was the end of that. But I learned the Roman Catholic people, ways, some bits of their beliefs from religious education during the 10 years, 9 years that I lived there. And the everyday practice of Roman Catholicism is not so bad, in my opinion. But there are a few things about the church.
A few.
More
This is
than
a
a few.
lot.
More than a few. The list is so long that I did not try suggesting it yet.
Yeah, I think we'll stay here until next week and skip like, if you go through that list. But yeah, there is a lot of problems with the Catholic Church as an institution, because as
Yes.
an institution, while trying to protect the name, they have protected also people that has hurt a lot of people, like they did with John Paul II. Helped a lot to this guy Marcial Maciel. He had here in Mexico like a large, a group of orphanages, and those orphans were like
Oh.
sold to people
The
for,
fuck.
yeah, yeah, and, or can I say, not sold, rented for
Mhm.
sexual purposes, and it was passed. It was like a known secret in Mexico that and what they did, and still Jean Paul II knew that, and the only thing that he did was like to hide those people. Uh, to the fact that none of you have heard of any of those guys, right? Uh, so yeah,
I mean, where the Roman Catholic Church comes in contact with children, terrible things happen,
yes,
is my
Not just
impression.
children. If you, I'll say, if you look at the impact of religion on world and the blood religion has on its hand, I'll say Catholic Church probably has the highest body count.
That may well
yeah,
be
I
the
guess,
case.
yeah.
That may well be the case.
And that without counting like today's actions that they have, like they have actions, or assets invested companies that create weapons. They have,
Rome is very rich.
Rome is absolutely like, he has more money than God. The
Mm,
actions of Mother
presumably.
Teresa
Oh dear God, yes, Mother Teresa.
was like
I call her
horrific.
the Wicked Witch of Calcutta.
Yes.
I think who was it? I think it was George Carlin, maybe. Not Carlin. George Carlin. Not. Who's the guy? I think Segan. The guy with laid down here. Uh,
Oh yeah, of
Thin
course,
guy.
the missionary position. What's name?
I think Segan. I think Carl Sagan. Wait.
I mean, he
Ah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah, Carl
really.
Sagan. I was right. Yes, Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan
Carl
mainly
Sagan.
gave her the
Oh
name the Angel of Death.
yes.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, angel. Yeah, yeah. Counting that Satan was an angel, and there. So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
I guess.
no, I mean,
Yeah. The story. Yeah.
essentially, I mean, I don't understand exactly how she got in that plan, but her idea and ideal of life was to become a saint, and she pulled it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And she was willing to do very nasty things for that, including cozying up with criminals and dictators, um, accepting large sums of money of very dodgy people,
Yeah.
including that Madoff guy, if memory serves. The
Bernie Madoff.
investment, yeah, the investment fraud person.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I'm not very
And
well versed about her antics
In,
in Africa. I know just her about her antics in India.
yeah, I mean, and of course,
she believed that the suffering of the poor people was what the best for their salvation. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she did
Correct.
make them suffer a lot.
yes, but of course, she didn't like that recipe much for herself.
Oh no, of course not. No, no,
I
no.
mean,
I think
when she fell ill, she flew to Europe and had the best medical care money can buy.
yeah, of
Not
course. Yeah.
surprised, although I didn't hear about that, but not surprised at all.
Yeah.
And cozying up with, was it Papa Doc in Haiti?
Oh yeah, too. That too. I think
Yeah, 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 right, right, right. Remembered.
yeah. Also, the Catholic Church, because of that religion, a lot of information from the cultures in America got lost because they deem everything that they wrote as the writings of the devil. So even entire books of medicine that the Aztecs and Mayans and other cultures they have were burned
Yes.
because they used it to cure like their disease with plants and stuff like that. There was like
Uh,
in all everything they have available all the time, but
a- as
that
I
one got lost.
understand it, Mayan books, they're called codex, but
Yeah.
that we know a handful of them.
Yes.
And there must have been many, many thousands, millions maybe.
It was all of them were burned. Even I think there is a book from a priest. I don't remember his name. I think it was Bartolomé de las Casas. He wrote that, oh, we saw those all the books that they have. They will say it was for medical purposes, but I don't think so. So we burned it, even though they were crying while they did while we did that. And I was like, wow.
The
Yeah,
fuck?
Yeah.
Catholics, oh, sorry, at least Catholicism, and particularly the Church, um, more than avoid if you can. Clear and present danger?
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel so. The only reason I won't give them criminal organization status is because they are
Because
at
all the
least
things that we don't know.
not that. The thing is, we are not judging the church. We're judging
Mhm.
Catholicism. Hence, they
Yeah.
get a bit of gray area there. If it was judging the church, we'd need a higher tier than criminal organization.
Yeah. I think it will be an avoid if you can. If you can.
Nah, 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 nah. They're more dangerous than that. I will say clear
Yeah,
and present danger.
dangerous. Yeah, clear and dangerous.
There
Yeah.
we go.
There you go.
Your turn, Elma.
Um, let me see what else we have in here.
Let me scroll down a bit.
I think we should go with another big one. Now we have covered the Catholicism. We should go with Christianity.
Okay.
And most of us, we have known all the how dangerous it is with the evangelicals and non-denominational people that are currently making a lot of noise, like in the U.S., where they try to um, control people by demanding laws to cater to them. An example, like they want to ban abortions, they want to,
Yeah, they have successfully done that in some states.
yeah,
Yes,
yes, exactly. Um, they now, I think the next step is ban contraception,
of course.
Yeah, makes sense.
and, and
They've
also,
also put they have put 10 commandments on school
the
walls.
Ten Commandments on the
Yeah,
school. Yeah.
yeah, removing free lunch, as if that makes
Of
very good
course.
sense.
I mean, teach them religion and then starve to the starve
Yes.
them.
I mean, oh, yes, of
Like,
course.
of course, it makes sense.
The, they
Yeah,
call themselves pro-life.
Yeah,
That is so funny. Yep, yep.
they are so pro-life until the mistress get pregnant, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually heard a good joke about that. That the pro-lifers are pro-life only till you're born.
yes, yes, pro-life until you're born. After that, especially if you are not the right color, you can get
Yep.
shot, you can starve. They don't care.
I must admit, there is more to Christianity than those, what do you call them, evangelicals.
There's one thing I have a doubt about. So, unsurprisingly, Christianity also has many subsects under it.
Hmm.
What's the specific thing about evangelicals? Like, what differentiates them?
Yeah, it's. I mean, as I understand it, it's not one particular church, but it's a movement within several Protestant, American Protestant churches, like Baptist Convention. There are others. I don't know the details, but in general, they are very conservative. Anti-abortion. By the way, that's a relatively recent adoption. In
Yeah,
1970s and 1980s, they were all, well, okay, we don't like it much, but we
we don't
recognize that.
care.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing with religious organizations. The thing is, it's a very slippery. It's a very steep, slippery slope. It never stops at a place. You get something, and immediately you start making it worse.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I the we have the main version of Christianity in my nation are Roman Catholicism. We'll talk about that, and most Dutch Protestant churches are Calvinist churches, and well, there are very conservative and Orthodox movements in that, and we have many dozens of churches there.
Hmm.
Um, they tend to be rather close-minded. They look into their own community and not so much outside. You, if you don't run across them, you won't know that they exist.
Yeah,
Yeah, reminds me of two subsets of Christianity. One is the Amish culture, and the other is the Puritan culture. That these are the two sects that reminds me of that. They're both dumb, but they are at least not telling me to live how I live.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
mhm.
occasionally, I mean, they have their own political party, and ordinarily that's enough to have one or two seats in the national parliament.
Yeah,
Well,
That's how
and then
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that as
yeah,
long as they
no,
are
I'm
in the
fine. I'm
minority.
fine with that, and they can keep a bit of pressure on what's on TV and things like that. That they can get some exposure, but it's more that so the majority politely smiles.
yeah, in Mexico they did try to create their own party, and they have some campaigns, but unfortunately they did not won anything. But they had some campaigns that they were like really kind of out there, because they want something like to stop sexual education on schools. They tried to impose a
Oh
law
dear
that it says
God.
that only the parents could allow to the school to teach sexual education to the children. If the parents say no, then the school should stop. And unfortunately
See,
they
see,
didn't get it.
this is the slippery slope I'm talking about. This
Yeah.
is around where the American Christian nationalist thing started. But
Hmm.
once they got that done, they moved on to banning abortion, They moved
Yeah.
on to putting 10 commandments on school. They moved on to removing free lunch. So it's a
Yeah.
very slippery slope that you need to stop at the early stage.
That it,
Otherwise, it will be
yeah,
difficult for them.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's like well, the very hungry caterpillar. It's never enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. In the in the initial stage, it might sound like okay, it's their right; they can do what they want among themselves. Who am I to say? But it
Mhm.
doesn't stop there. That's the problem. If
Yeah,
someone asks permission that okay, I don't want my kid to have sex education because, like I believe in dumb shit, I would be entitled to that. But if I, but it won't be like that. I'll stop there. As soon as I get, I'll be like, oh, I'm offended. You should not give them to the other kids in the class. My child is
yeah.
studying as well,
I must
and
admit that my nation, we have tamed at least that bit of Christianity on the Protestant side, and also Catholic side, by the way, that
Mhm.
Christian or religious schools can apply for government subsidy, and that's a complete subsidy,
Mhm.
equal to public schools, in which they can essentially um, decide on, well, religious, we call that exact beliefs, but can do that for 1 hour a week. And
Okay.
for all the rest of the time, you'll need to teach the national curriculum. And we have exams at the end.
nice.
And so they must teach that. And part of that is sex ed. It's in the
Yeah.
national curriculum. You better teach it. We don't care what you believe. I mean, of course, you don't have to, but then you would lose your national subsidy, which essentially means they go bankrupt in a week.
Oh, okay.
This,
Yeah.
this sounds like a good move.
Yeah,
This makes a
yeah,
lot of sense.
I mean, it was a difficult exchange for that happened in 1917 in exchange for general suffrage.
Okay.
Yeah, was just a political dispute that had been rotting for decades, where essentially a very nice and progressive prime minister decided, let's solve this. And essentially, the arrangement with equal pay for religious schools and public schools was exchanged for general suffrage. And we still live with that.
Okay.
It makes
And thanks for your comment, Ascalon. It's the same in the UK. We have state religious schools, but as Hein says, they have to teach a standardized curriculum. And yes, and we have inspections for that.
Oh,
Then,
nice.
yeah,
That's good. Okay.
that's good.
So,
but
what tier level will you push for Christianity?
Clear and
the
present danger.
Yeah.
The reason
Yeah.
I'm telling you why. An average Christian is not a big problem. But when you look
Mm.
at Christianity as a whole and the power they control, they're pushing a lot of bullshit on the rest of the people and covering for a lot of blood as well. So I'll say they fall into clear and present danger.
Yeah, and also, uh, we also have this. Let me show you for the US.
yes,
Yeah,
Yes.
see, this is the kind of bullshit I'm talking about.
Christian nationalism, or as I like to
Hmm.
call them, the Jesus Nazis. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
See,
they're fascists, like
yes,
really, like
I mean,
yes,
that whole Project 2025 is a carbon copy of the way the Nazis took over power in Germany in
yeah,
1929, if memory serves.
yeah.
the
One
Nazis were
thing,
also Christians, so it's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
difference at all.
yes,
I mean, if that happens, um, we'll be in very interesting times, as in the curse, may you live in interesting times.
exactly. I would rather not.
No. I do hope our American voting viewers understand who to vote for, but I'm not supposed to say that. We cannot endorse a candidate.
No, 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 we're not. But if you can please avoid to become a fascist state,
Yes,
please,
exactly. You do the right thing.
please do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'll say that
I must admit that the clear and present danger, I understand that.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And the one good move that the American politics made is that replacing Biden with Kamala Harris. That was a good move.
Yeah, yeah.
Much better candidate. That dude was
Yes,
old, man. That dude was old.
yeah, yes.
The only thing he
I mean,
had going for him was that he wasn't Trump. That's all.
I mean,
That's
I'll
all
be
he had to
interest.
give.
I'll be interested to learn later on after the election if there was a bit of play here.
Oh,
I
okay.
suspect it is, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
have very high hopes to be honest. I just know that it will improve to some extent. That's all I'm expecting.
I
No major
mean,
change.
uh, no, no, I won't comment. Clear and present danger it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I should answer one question from Raymond too, which
Which
is
one?
how does an average person in India view the Catholic Church?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'll keep it
On
short.
the
The
authority.
Yeah, sure. I'll keep it short. There are two things to there are two core things to understand here. The first thing is that India is not a Christian majority nation, so the Catholic Church doesn't have a power that is anyway comparable to the power it has in a Christian majority nation, the USA, for example. So
Okay.
that's something that there's, and the second thing is the current regime that we have, the very lovely Modi regime. They are very much against minorities, all former minorities.
Oh,
Their main
okay.
target are the Muslims for unsurprising reasons. But Christianity is also the minorities in India. So they're the second most hated minority. So today, people don't look at the Catholic Church in a good way. It's mostly fueled by the reason that they don't have much power here, and second, they are hated as a minority thanks to our beautiful regime. But a regular person might not have much of a thought about them because most most of the people I know haven't interacted with Christians. I personally have, but having a Christian friend is not that common unless you are from a Christian community. There are some regions of India where Christianity is the majority religion, but they are very tiny pockets. I, for example, studied in a Catholic school. Not fully Catholic, I'll say it was a missionary school, but a Christian school. And I think that was good for me. But that would be very different if I had the same experience in a Christian missionary nation. So it's a bit of a ambiguous place and depends on which region of India you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. Hi, Wes. Good to see you here.
Hey,
Oh
oh,
yes, 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 yes. I'm back. I
So,
was.
which one should we continue? What
Let,
about I think it is your turn next, Hein?
yeah,
Or
let's put the word to Judaism.
okay.
nice.
I am mildly sympathetic to Judaism,
Uh, I'm not sympathetic to.
but
Okay.
that's from experience. I've known a few
Okay.
Jews in my life, and those were very nice people. Most of them were also atheists,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that too
did
is mine.
they did do ritual, held Sabbath.
Why?
Uh,
We're
I
most
mean,
like a
if they were
cultural thing.
atheist, why bother with that?
because that's their way.
Yeah, except the Sabbath thing. Sabbath is a
I
me
mean,
kind of thing. It's a very community thing. I can get that.
One
But
of
what
them
about the rest of that?
one of them explained it to me like this: being Jewish is a form of tribalism.
Yeah, it very much is. It very much is. Judaism is a very close knit community thing.
Yes,
I've looked into how they live their lives. It's very close knit, extremely.
and in general, and I mean, the Jews I knew did that in just in their home. They didn't work on Saturdays, or some of them did. Depends a bit. I mean, they weren't all the same in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
And I dated a Jewish woman for a bit, and she introduced me to Jewish holidays and how to celebrate them. And even though none of the people who were involved were particularly theistic Jews, they were
Okay.
cultural Jews, and I much enjoyed that. So, from that point of view, I'm okay with Judaism, but it's not all good news. And of course, there's the elephant in the room, Israel.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah.
thing with
But I think it is
Judaism is that
something that we can talk about, like also it's like a religion and like the extreme version too, because I
that,
think that
that
the
no,
Zionists are like the extreme version of that religion.
if the thing is, if we go that route, we'll have to divide multiple religions. For example, Sikhism would also have to be divided into the extremism and the average thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dilemma we are dealing with. Personally, I don't have any sympathy for Judaism itself. I have sympathy for Jews because what they have gone through. But
Mm-hmm.
when you look at the religion, it's not really a good religion. There's a lot of problem in it. In fact, if you look at the extremist forms of Christianity, I'm not talking about radicalism. I'm talking about
No,
cultural extremism. It derives directly from cultural extremism in Judaism.
yes,
So I don't have any. The religion is very problematic. The people have historically there's a lot that the Jewish community has gone through, but we have also seen that when they are in power, when they did not mind becoming the oppressors themselves. Israel is the prime example, but that is not the only example. So I don't really have much sympathy for Judaism at all. I'll say it's like very much entire with Christianity and Catholicism. Clearly, clear and present tension. I
Almost, do
also
you?
Uh, for me, the experience that I have is I also work with people who are Jewish. Um, and eventually, like it was developing into kind of like a friendship. I started like with teaching them how to set up their computer,
ah,
and then they will invite me like to breakfast and stuff like that. But like Haynes said, those were not religious, because the ones that were religious, like their, I think their nephews or nieces, they will be like, "Oh, why do you have this person here? It's polluting your house," and they will make comments like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's the thing I'm talking about.
yep,
I mean, Jews used to be a considerable minority of my nation. In 1940, some 140,000 Jewish people on a population of around 12 million. Unfortunately, the German occupation happened, and only 40,000 survived.
yeah, and
And that took a large chunk out of just everyday popular life.
yeah, true.
Ah, yeah.
Also,
And
there is something that I have noticed during while reading the Bible with the other guys in Spanish and everything, that in the inception of the religion, the Jewish religion, there is usually like a set of rules for Jewish people, and another way that Jewish people can behave towards the rest of the world. Like
Ah,
example, everybody know that well, in here we know that there is a slavery in the Bible, right? They have a set of rules for slaves that are Jewish, and another different one for slaves that are not Jewish. Those cannot ever go free for any reason. The Jewish ones
ah,
at least have like the hope that if they get all the way to the celebrations that they have every 7 years or so, that they could go free because that's what they have mandate. The other ones, they don't. They don't have any hope to
ah.
be ever released.
I did not hear about that, but I'm not surprised at all because uh, Islam also has that. And as I said, like the extremism parts of the Abrahamic religions are directly derived from Judaism. So I'm not surprised at all. If you look at the uh, Arabic slave trade, the whole slavery thing was bypassed using the Muslim non-Muslim loophole
Okay.
because Islam does not allow slavery. But that's only applicable for Muslims. You can have sex slaves who
Oh,
are not Muslims. The
okay.
whole
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the whole loophole they used, and not like
Yeah,
they wouldn't mind taking Muslims as slaves and find
yeah.
some another loophole. But that was the primary loophole the Arabic slave trade used. So I'm not surprised to know this about Judaism. As I said, I have absolutely no sympathy for
They
the
also
religion.
have like another rules. Like if you lend money to somebody that is Jewish, you should not collect like what is interest?
Interest? Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
But if you lend money to somebody else, go go nuts.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no doubt that the money lending bit got quite a few Jews in, let's say, a bad reputation in Europe in the Middle Ages. And
There's a bit of you know that thing has a bit of context as well, because what happened was Christianity, once again, ideally speaking, on book, doesn't let you, doesn't, the whole borrowing money, borrowing stuff is in a form banned in Christianity. So if even the Christians needed to borrow money, the
Hmm.
Jews would be the only one they could borrow from.
yes,
And since they could only borrow from Jews, the people collecting the interest were also only Jews. So this
exactly.
whole, slowly
Yeah, they
grew
went
up
into
into a
that.
community enmity thing and etc.
Yeah, yeah. It played it played into the stereotype that was created later, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I have no truck with anti-Semitism. I don't
Yeah,
accept it around
Yeah.
me
me.
No,
neither.
no, no.
Me neither. Definitely not.
But uh, that's one of those things. Just don't do it. But
See, that's also the
unfortunately,
thing is when you look at things like anti-Semitism, Semitism itself definitely is a problem. But
Yes.
anti-Semitism also gets used as a shield to defend bullshit, just like similar how Islamophobia works. Islamophobia itself is a real problem in places where Muslims are minority, but at the same time, it also gets used as a shield to protect bullshit within Islam, because
Yeah, that's true.
any criticism is labeled as Islamophobia and you get away with it. Just like how
Yeah, if you get,
Zionists are
if you,
using.
yeah, it's true. If you have any critic regarding Islam, oh, you're being Islamophobic.
yes, exactly. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I'm not very much aware of Jews who play that card. I mean, they occasionally play the persecution card because, of course, the very
Yeah,
unfortunate happenings under the Nazis. And I'm sympathetic to that.
Yeah, that's something I'm sympathetic to
It
as well.
doesn't make
Not the
them
religion.
right. Doesn't make them
Exactly.
right. But I'm sympathetic to their plight. I'm sympathetic to um, the terrible things that happened to the Jewish people. And I understand that. I mean, Israel wasn't, let's say, imagined from that, but it got its kickstart from the post-war immigration.
Yeah.
And
And
Actually,
I think that is also a little bit equivalent. Like the Jehovah's Witnesses were also persecuted during that time. They were also sent to concentration camps, and they were also
yes,
and everything. But that
do you mean
doesn't.
under the Nazis or under
yes,
some
yes,
other
yes,
place?
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Under the Nazis.
In
In
there's
Germany.
thousands.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just clarifying. Not surprised, but
Yes, yeah,
just
no, but no. And I mean, same thing with homosexuals,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Roma people. The
Yeah, even the socialists. I mean, the first people the Nazis came after were the communists and socialists. Although on paper they themselves called themselves socialists, which is
yeah,
just
Yeah.
the difference being that they locked up politicians in concentration camps and sent Jews. The other ones we all call to extermination camps.
Yes.
oh,
Places designed to kill people, like
They
Auschwitz,
they even
Treblinka.
also did against German people who were like deemed not desirable due to any
yeah,
disease.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah. They did.
Action T4, the Action T4, the euthanization of the disabled.
Yeah.
That didn't happen in concentration camps, by the way, but yes. That I mean, okay, we're not here to discuss how bad the Nazis
Well,
were.
yeah, but
Yeah. Sorry.
like we said, I think that the tier for the Judaism, since they are not proselytizing,
No, no,
to
they didn't do
me
that.
would be like avoid if you can. What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty much my
Uh,
idea.
I kind of, I kind of fall more towards the clear and present danger, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just that I think there are clear and present danger due to the what is happening right now with the
Yes,
war and
at
everything.
Not
least.
just the genocide,
But
I'll say
I mean,
overall as well.
yeah, I mean, um,
but I think that's
again,
more with the government.
my personal experience and knowing what's going on in Israel, uh, nothing there touches.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I agree. But the thing that, based on what you said, I feel the Jews you interacted with weren't Orthodox Jews. So it's like
Hmm.
liberal people who just happen
yeah,
to come from a Jewish
I
family.
mean
Yeah.
the traditional Orthodox Jews in the black suit and bowler hat and curly bits on and a big beard, of course. I've never seen one dressed like that in the Netherlands. They may exist, but hide a bit. But in Antwerp, for instance, there's a clearly visible community of those.
Hmm.
And I had some contact with them through commerce.
But
I mean, apart from they look funny, they were very ordinary people doing their job.
I think since we have been talking about like the extreme parts of each religion,
Hmm.
if you have met an Orthodox Jewish, those are like really bad. like, like they have they don't they have their own communities. They don't talk to anybody else about those. They control their people a lot.
Yes.
Women, especially, they're like really misogynistic.
Oh yeah, they are. They
Absolutely.
extremely are.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're extremely harsh on them. So yeah, I think
okay,
I'm
clear on
agreeing more.
presentation. Danger. There we go.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I'm looking at the time. We're going for an hour and a half now.
yeah.
Um,
I think that in they still haven't even peeled half of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, to be honest, I knew very well that we wouldn't be able to complete all of them. I don't even recognize all of
no,
them
no,
in the
no, no,
list.
no, no.
No.
I mean, I mean, I what we have on 5, 6, 7. Uh, I had 10 in about 10 in mind. I mean, I'm fine if we say it's okay for the night and we call it a day.
Hmm.
But
I have an idea. Let's do two other major religions, then we can have a short fire kind of thing, like
Yeah,
have a one
sure.
as many we can. Like I don't recognize all of them,
no, no, no,
so
no.
Let's go with the Islamic religion.
yeah, I
That's
was about to
another
go there.
Abrahamic.
Yeah, I mean, it's only fair.
Yeah, it's only fair, exactly.
Yeah. Like in that case, we have a like a very misogynistic, like horrible misogynistic view, and
Yeah, we
they
have.
have a lot of as a woman, I'll be scared if it it starts to become like the major religion where I live, but
Huh.
uh, because there has been even though Mexico is not like it's very Catholic. Recently, I have seen in TikTok there are women that are converting into that faith, and I don't know the reason why. I think the main reason is because they think that is something exotic, or they don't really know what the religion
Oh.
entails for them. Because I have seen the way that they convert, and they are still like their conversion looks like they only put like a scarf, and that was their entire conversion. Like they don't actually know all the rules that they will have to follow if they were really into the religion. Because I've seen some that still wear makeup, they're still are showing off on social networks, and that's not something they are supposed to do.
Yeah, I think it's because of two reasons. One
Yeah.
is if I look at the oppressed communities in India, that even like India is a Hindu majority nation and Hinduism has a casteism problem.
Hmm.
So the lower caste were very oppressed. I'm not talking about the average lower caste. I'm talking about the very oppressed parts of them.
Hmm.
You'll find them often converting to other religions to mainly escape that direct oppression. Sometimes
Hmm.
it's even Islam, sometimes it's Christianity, and sometimes it's Buddhism. They are mostly targeted towards Buddhism because it's friendlier and one of the important historical figures who fought against this oppression kind of give that as a green light that if you want to be something, be that instead. So Buddhism has a preference, but even without Buddhism, they freely consider converting to Islam or Christianity to escape that oppression. uh,
Okay.
the other thing is the Catholic Church and the Muslim bodies know about this. So them being the toxic them they also take advantage of it, incentivizing people for converting to their religion, and it's more of a gateway drug. You don't. If you were if you came to me, let's say you were part of Jehovah's Witness, for
Hmm.
example, if you came to me, you wouldn't start talking to me, talking about all the bullshit and all the problems inside the organization. You will keep a rose tinted, rosy picture that this is a better option somehow. It's a similar
Oh,
tactic.
okay. Oh, I
So
see.
maybe it's a combination of those two. I
Hmm.
feel so. They are just choosing it as a better option, having uh,
Regarding the environment
yeah,
they're already in. Yeah.
yeah. And they are not very aware about what they're getting into yet. It will come slowly, but surely. But yeah, I feel it's a combination of that because it's a bit similar situation here. It's still unpopular though. It's not like majority people are doing that. But there's that.
We have a sizable minority of Muslims in the Netherlands, roughly 5% of the population.
Ah. It's a little
Uh,
more in India. It's 20%, I would say,
yeah, but
approximately.
I mean, it's a sizable minority, and in let's say in general, people declare that religious is number one Roman Catholics, Protestant Christians. Number three is Muslims,
Yeah.
and so and I live in a relatively poor neighborhood, so I live in a neighborhood that has a considerable Muslim population. Uh,
Okay.
there's a mosque in the neighborhood. Um, there's an Islamic school in the neighborhood. Um, quite a few of the shops I go shopping to are run by Muslims,
Mm-hmm.
and I get on fine with them. But I'm very well aware that yes, their views on women is weird. Their views on homosexuals is weird, and then I
They
mean,
make homosexuality illegal in some Muslim countries.
I would say
yes,
most maybe.
Yeah.
But
that
it's also
I think
similar to
that
some of the Christian nation as well. I mean, I'm
I
not
think
talking about
that
Christian
most
majority
of
nation. I'm talking
us.
about Christian states where Christian
Hmm.
is the state religion and stuff. It's also illegal, and in some places they're even executed. I think
Yeah,
Uganda is the place where they are
they
straight
got
up executed.
executed.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I think that most of us have no issues with any particular religion in the way they behave when they are the minority in our countries.
yeah,
Because when they are the minority in our countries, they're like well behaved, they're like peace and love, and
yeah,
love thy neighbor. And in case of the Muslims, are we're the religion of peace, and etc. etc. The problem that we have is where they become the majority. That's because that's where the when the claws come out.
yes.
Yes, yes. And
Um,
there's a specific pet peeve I have against Islam compared to other religion, which is if you look at most other religion that we know of, at least the popular ones, they slowly turn into the monster they are over the years. Uh, for example, if I take Christianity, it's based upon the teachings of Jesus, at least on paper. That's what they say. I disagree,
Yeah.
but that's what it's
Hmm.
supposed to be. Jesus did not go out and start murdering people. He gave some good message. It was turned into a weapon first by Constantinople or Constantine, I think. The king is Constantine. He
Okay.
was the guy who, accepted big this state religion and converted it into the
yeah,
weapon we
the
know
emperor.
Christianity as. Yeah.
Hmm.
If you look at Judaism similarly, it was some people down the line who turned it into the weapon it became. For example, right now we have Benjamin as an example of that. uh, if you look at any other religion, even Buddhism, for example, as I said, if you look at teachings of Buddha, he straight up says there is no God, and today he has become the God. And
Yeah, that's
yeah,
yeah.
but but if you look at Islam, the guy who founded it, Muhammad, he straight up made it a religion of weapon. He straight up started holy wars. He
Yeah.
founded it as a weapon. So that is a specific pet
Yes,
peeve I
I
have against
mean,
Islam
a-
compared to other religions.
as I understand it, Muhammad was a warlord,
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and we have little truck with warlords nowadays. They do terrible things.
they do.
Hmm.
I mean, we had quite a bit of that in Africa, of course, in Rwanda and Burundi. When was it? Good grief, what a mess. Oh, and of course in East Africa, in Eritrea and all that. I mean, it's essentially banditism.
Hmm.
This reminds me of someone called Mosquito or something, who did a lot of horrible stuff, but he was acquitted by the Catholic Church when he accepted Christianity. That should tell you something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mosquito Warlord. Sam Boccare mosquito, I think.
Oh, yeah, there's a Aram Bukhari something in.
Yeah. Samuel Sam Boccari. That's his Christian name. He
Oh,
was.
okay.
Um, let me give his name before that. Legends. Basically, the Revolutionary United Front, the Sierra Leone civil wars, and yeah.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. Samuel Sam Boccari.
Ah,
Okay.
yes, I
Yes.
do remember that name. I mean, Islam. I mean, I think that in the basis, I understand quite a bit of it, and that's not so bad. But there are the details. Oh, of course, the stupid genital mutilation thing.
Oh, yeah, that too.
That's part of Judaism as well, I think.
Yes,
Oh,
but
yeah, but the Judaism is for males,
yes,
and the other one is for females too.
yes.
Acha,
I
okay.
mean, I must admit that it's
I
presumably
mean,
from what I've been explained, and it was a Muslim who explained it to me, and I'm always a bit skeptical about what they say.
Yeah, I am
That
too.
that's not a Islamic prescription, but a African tribal um, thing they do.
I
yeah,
think there is a bit of truth to
I'm
that
not.
because when you,
I'm not quite sure if that works.
no, I think that is true. I'll tell you why. You won't find female genital mutilation in within Muslims in other parts of the world. Like I have Muslim friends, including
yeah.
female friends,
It's
and
not
they
something
haven't gone through
prevalent,
that.
but
Yeah, it's not. It's mostly confined to the African region. So I think there's some truth
yeah,
to that. It's not prevalent even in the overly Islamic Arabic the Gulf nation. It's not prevalent there. So I feel there's some truth to that.
yeah. Okay, so I think that with that, we can put the Islamic religion and what tier? What?
Oh, it's
Oh,
still clear and present tense.
clear
Very
and
clear.
present danger.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's very
Yeah.
clear. They also have a huge body count among many other horrible stuff that they
yes,
do.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so with that, I think it's time for like to mention our patrons and
Okay. Actually, can we have time for another?
no, I
Yeah.
mean we can mention the patrons and then just go to the
Okay, cool.
the rapid fire that we will talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Makes sense.
Uh, okay, so you want to mention Hank or
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, there it is.
Thanks to patrons Paul Camish, Karen Butcher, Buck, Helen Green, Logan Fisher, Amanda McLeod, Eric Ozels, Ryan, Deneen Murphy, Dan D, Michael Weisman, Sonny Shell, Aaron Colson, and Phil Calderon. Thank you for your donations.
Yeah, also don't forget to check out our other shows on Skeptic Haven, Mondays the Black Free Thinkers, Tuesday Secular Soapbox, Thursday the Sunny Spot, Saturday the Global Atheist and Women Atheists on Load, and Let's Talk on Sundays.
Yeah.
I think we are planning for something on Wednesday. I saw that on the YouTube cover photo and Facebook cover photo as well.
Mm, I'm not sure of that.
Okay, maybe still in the works. Makes sense.
Yes,
Yes,
it's still in the
that
works.
may. Let's not announce shows that aren't decided on yet. Um,
Maybe.
do
Okay.
you have one you'd like to have a quick chat about in the religion chat room?
So
Yeah, I do. I do because otherwise it won't be fair, and that is
okay.
Hinduism.
Sorry,
Of course.
Of
Yes.
course.
sorry. Which is that?
Hinduism.
No,
The
I mean
Hinduism.
second last.
Yes.
It is the second last. The complete second last.
okay.
Uh,
Let's say
damn it.
where it went.
No,
Uh, the the absolute second last from last row, beside the bullhorn thing. I don't know what
Oh,
that
oh,
bullhead
oh,
is.
okay. Yeah, the one that is looks like a tree, and
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
last
That's
last
yeah,
one,
yeah, yeah.
the last one. Hey, down, down, down the
It
row.
does look like a tree. That's a good call out.
Yeah, it's next to atheist.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yay.
yes.
No, that works.
Okay, talking about the symbol, that's a Sanskrit letter. It's
Okay.
also part. It's also common in other Indian languages that came from Sanskrit. It means Om. It's a pronunciation. It's a Om. It's more of a syllable that becomes part of other letters due to for phonetic reasons. And but yeah, Om is a part of most Hindu chants. So
Hmm.
that somehow became the symbol of Hinduism.
Even I know one that starts with it. And I know very little about Hinduism, so yeah, we know it.
Yeah. Uh, so the thing with Hinduism is that you know it also has multiple sects, and casteism is a huge thing. Misogyny is also part of Hinduism, unsurprisingly. Most of the problems we have with the Abrahamic religions are also part of Hinduism, although Hindus like to pretend they are better than that, because the thing Hindus point at to show that Hinduism is better is so dumb because they are also part of other religions, just not as popular. For example, Hinduism has female deities, right? And people will point at that and say that, look, we are so women friendly, but they're not. Like, and I can say the same thing about Christianity as well. Christianity has a huge thing about Mother Mary, Virgin Mary, and other bullshit, but Christians are not friendly towards women. And yeah, reincarnation is a thing. Reincarnation actually did not originate in Hinduism. It originated in Buddhism, and since during that
Oh.
area Buddhism started to become a competitor to Hinduism, the Orthodox figured out maybe we can just make it part of Hinduism and call Buddhism part of Hinduism and counter that popularity. It did succeed to some extent, to be honest. For example, people kind of think it's part of Hinduism, although it did not originate from Hinduism.
Yeah.
Reincarnation is a very bullshit concept. It by itself is, yeah, it is. It really
Yeah.
is.
No, no, no. I mean, I'm laughing because I like. Yeah, I don't want to go through this bullshit again.
And it's not even once. It's like a cycle till you have purified yourself and you can go to heaven.
Oh hell no.
Another
And
wrench in the machine. How that works? Anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the reason I say that by itself it's not that bad, still dumb, but by itself it's not that bad because it's supposed to be about that if you're having a bad life now, it means you did something wrong in your past life. It's dumb, but the moral ideology behind that is you should live, making people to think that they should live the current life in a good way so that they get a better next life. So it's supposed to be a moral guidance, so by
Hmm.
itself is not that bad, although it's dumb. But what happens is it gets used as an excuse for a lot of bad stuff. Casteism, for example. uh,
Oh
the
yeah,
whole
the cast.
yeah
Uh-huh.
yeah
The
yeah so
caste system. Hmm.
yes, exactly. So it's supported by the law of reincarnation that you are born in a lower caste this time because you did something bad in the past life, which means you deserve the oppression you are going through. So that's how it gets used. So it's a very weird thing that what's supposed to be a moral guidance just becomes a tool of oppression. Similar to how Christianity actually, the whole hell and heaven concept, it does get used as a tool of oppression.
Well,
Uh,
leave it to
the,
Christianity to make it a bit cruder, but yes.
yeah, so it's a similar concept.
It's
Um,
easier to justify to being like really mean to somebody that
yeah,
put him in a lower caste because oh he probably did something, that's why.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes, of course.
Yeah.
And just like other religions, Hinduism also has a lot of blood on its hand. A lot of religious wars were fought. The funny thing is, actually, it's not uncommon. Even if you look at other religions, the most Christians have been killed by other Christians. Similarly, most Hindus have been killed by other Hindus because neighboring kingdoms fought religious wars among themselves, and they were
Oh,
both Hindus. So it's you know how different sects work, and the Catholic versus Protestant. There are subsections in Hinduism who fought against each other for dominance. Yeah, it's pretty common. It's nothing new. It's just another religion being just another toxic bullshit.
I think that they mentioned a little bit of that in that movie, Slumdog Millionaire. That they were saying
Ah,
that
okay.
we were also Hindus, but we were not that kind of Hindu. That's why my mom got killed or something like that.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that what he's talking about, he's talking about the extreme form of casteism problem. So
Mm-hmm.
the caste system has a huge hierarchy, but
Okay.
in a deeper level, but on the surface level, it's has a few prominent divisions, which is the Brahmin upper caste. They are the priests. Then they are the warrior class for Kshatriyas. They are the second level. Then they are
Okay.
the workers, the the office goers, businessman, etc. That's how it originated. That's not how the case it is now, to be honest. They are the third level, and then they are the slaves and supporters, who are the Sudras and Dalits. They are the lowest level. So sometimes those Dalits was the outcasts of Hinduism in a way. They are the one that face the most amount of oppression, and that is what was being talked about in Slumdog Millionaire. There's that, but just like if you look into surnames, even in Western regions, you will find that a lot of surnames came from the task the family was associated with. Like some of, if you look into whatever your surname is, you'll find that in some language it is connected to some profession. That's also the case with casteism in India. But that is the origin. The problem is that it becomes so hardcore that if you are from a specific community, you cannot do anything other than that. Let's say you are a cobbler by caste. You have to be a cobbler. It doesn't matter how talented you are, cannot do anything else. If you are a sanitary worker by caste, you have to only clean sewage. You cannot do anything else. You won't be allowed to do anything else. That is the problem. Uh, that
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 is
pretty much the
horrible.
racism. Yeah, it is horrible. It is horrible. And the other thing is also pretty common, the misogyny and all. If I were to tire it, I'll have to point out one thing. In the recent, by recent, I mean some 100-year history of Hinduism, something has emerged out of Hinduism, which is the radical Hindu nationalistic part of it, which has got the name of Hindutva. That is a political form of Hinduism. And if I were to divide it, just like Sikhism has the Khalistani movement thing, but most people are not part of it. Similarly, if I were to divide Hindus and Hindutva movement, I would place them in two separate tiers. Like Hindutva is straight up terrorist mentality, radical terrorist mentality. They won't call themselves terrorists because they are in control here. They don't need to do terrorism. It is their land. They probably would be doing terrorism if it was some other place. uh, that I would put straight up in criminal level. But since we are considering Hinduism as a whole, I'll put it in the same place as Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. But that's somewhat my perspective. By staying here, I'm definitely open to your ideologies.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Hindu minority, most of them descendants of contract laborers in Suriname in South America. In the 1970s, when Suriname became independent, quite a few people from there immigrated in the Netherlands, as in hundreds of thousands. That at one moment, something like half of the Suriname population lived in the Netherlands. And with them came considerable numbers of Hindus, they have Hindu temples. They are, I mean, when you happen to know people from that descent, they're very accessible. But it's not something I would recognize in the street. Hey, that's a Hindu temple.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
That's surprising. I'm saying this because any religious worshipping place has a specific signature look that you can understand even if it does not explicitly say what the place is about. Like a church doesn't need to be saying that it is a church. You get a basic idea that it must be a church. Similar
Yeah.
to how you can understand a mosque is a mosque even if you don't see the
Yeah,
signboard.
I mean, most of our mosques are typically repurposed school buildings.
Oh, okay. I see.
We have a few purpose-built mosques that have minarets and all the trappings, but your ordinary Rotterdam mosque is a very plain building. Some of them have little cupola installed if they get a permit for that.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
I think you have the scenario because it's a bit controlled there. Like people are not allowed to run free and do bullshit thing in the under the name of religion as much it is here.
If you want to build a building, you need to have a permit for that. I happen to
Oh,
live
okay.
for. I
So
happen to
you
work
can not
for
just put like the
the.
collimator.
No, you can't do that.
Okay.
We have
Oh, you
rules
can
for
do
that.
that here. You
Okay.
can do that here very easily.
Oh,
No, no,
that,
no. The Netherlands is a very rulish nation. We love rules and permits and rules.
yeah, I have noticed that about Netherlands.
And I
I'll
mean,
say
and
it
it's not
kind of.
bullshit, but it's very irritating when you want to, let's say, have new windows.
oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
Particularly, I mean, just the bit that the glass fits in, yes, you can renew that without a permit, but if you want a bit higher or something like that, and stone must be cut, not without a permit.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I think it's kind of like I was telling you earlier that um, most people despise the HOAs, right?
Yeah,
And because they say
they
it's
have,
evil, but to me, it's not that I like them. It's just that I feel that it's a little bit convenient that people in here cannot play loud music at all times of the day, and it's just quiet in here.
yeah,
Yeah.
good thing.
Huh. The thing
Anyway,
with HOAs, I'll say it's a
I
bit about luck.
sorry
Most
that
of them are
I.
bad. Sometimes you get lucky.
Oh, yeah, there we are. In clear and present danger, it goes.
Yes, I can
Um,
agree with that. Uh,
is should we talk about Buddhism for a bit? I mean, I'm looking at the clock. We're in 2 hours now.
Yeah, I think we have extended ourselves a lot.
yeah, we have. Okay,
Um,
maybe I think Buddhism is fair. Let's keep it short about Buddhism and then
mhm,
do a bit of
let's
rapid
start
fire
that way.
among the ones we recognize.
Hmm. So far, I have been told that Buddhism is like kind of like atheist religion because they don't follow like a god. But I think it's sometimes a bit confusing to me because I know they follow Buddha, and I'm not sure if they think that it's their god or something.
That's the dilemma I was talking about. As I said, Buddha never claimed to be son of God, messenger of God, or anything. He refuted the claim of God. But what happened was later on he, in a way, became God. Like people made
Yeah,
him God. Buddhists made him God. He's literally worshipped as a god. They have their own mythology and lore and other stuff like that. So now it's not atheistic. It's just more atheistic compared to other mainstream religions. It is still a religion. So I will not call Buddhism in today's form atheistic in any form. But if you look at the teachings of Buddha, they are pretty good. I like most of them. Uh, and the other thing is, it depends on
Oh, there's a comment here that is very interesting.
Buddhism is, I mean, once again, it's this comes in relative level. Uh, yeah, yeah,
Okay, I understand now.
yeah, 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 exactly. It's a bit relative to where you are and how much under Buddhist authority you are. Let's say
Okay.
Buddhism in America, uh, Mexico, America, or even India to some extent would be a lot
Hmm.
lenient compared to, let's say, if we were living in Bhutan, which has Buddhism as a state religion. So
Oh,
those are
okay.
the ties you need to be worried about.
Hmm.
And since the other thing Buddhism has going for it is that it's since it is a relatively speaking more liberal religion than other options, a lot of people opt for Buddhism for that appeal, not to be a hardcore Buddhist. So in
Hmm.
the 1950s, I think the whole appeal to Buddhism started in the USA because people are tired of the Catholic Church and other people
No, the
trying to
Christian
control them.
religious.
Yeah, yeah, people got kind of tired of that, which is also when the whole hippie culture grew up. And as a side note to that, cults also took advantage of that, but that's a different story. But
Hmm.
that's how the whole appeal to Buddhism came into the United States, because it was seen like an better option than being controlled by the Christian bodies, not because people wanted to follow Buddhism step by step. So that
Yeah.
has a bit of ambiguity there. But Buddhism, in its true form, it's still a religion and it is misogynistic as well. Just maybe not as much as Islam or Hinduism or Christianity, but it still is. And that enlightenment is right. And I'm not sure how much it is followed. I'll say it depends on the monastery you are connected to, because but yeah, yeah, it will be very difficult for you to find a proper Buddhist monk who is a woman. I personally have never seen one. I'm sure it's not zero, but that gives you the picture.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, and Dean is right.
Um,
This is a
don't worry, they tell you. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Okay, now we can go with the so and what tier would you place Buddhism? Like
I'll say bad idea.
bad
The
idea?
reason being, yeah, I'll say bad idea because uh, it's not as good as it looks from the outside. It has its
Mm-hmm.
problems, at least in today's form. And and some Buddhist nations have committed bad stuff. The easy example that comes to my mind is Myanmar. Where completely they did not exactly commit a genocide because they did have to, but they pretty much drove away a lot of minority communities. The Rohingya immigration is a result of militant movement in Myanmar, and that militant movement had support from the Buddhist monasteries,
Oh, okay.
unsurprisingly. So yeah, there's that. But
Okay,
yeah, I think we should do rapid fire. Which let's go serially
let's
and
go theism, satanism, theistic satanism.
Theistic
okay.
Satanism. Yeah, it's somewhere there. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, go
Uh,
Yeah.
ahead.
i-
What do you think? Bad idea? I think avoid if you can.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
Yeah,
say avoid if you can. I'll say that uh,
yeah.
it's
I mean,
not as bad.
I know very little about it. I read a bit about it. It had no appeal to me. Um, but if you believe it, no, not so bad. Yeah. Or bad idea, maybe.
Bad idea.
Okay, yeah, bad idea. Bad idea.
Bad
Bad
idea
idea.
it is.
Yeah. The thing is, unlike Church of Satan, people actually believe in the stuff here, and the
Yeah.
only reason they haven't done much damage is because they are a way too stark of a minority. I'm
Yeah.
sure they would do bad stuff if they had the power to do it.
Okay. What else? Let's see. And there is baptism. No, what is that? With the
Baptism
cross.
is baptism is part of Christianity.
Oh, so we can put it over there with clear representation.
Maybe not. Is it baptism or is it Anabaptism?
It's the one that is with a yellow circle and a cross. Is
Oh,
that
this
Baptist?
one. Oh, yes, of course. Over there.
Baptist, the ones that
Okay.
I think that's the one that you speak in tongues and you can roll on
Some
the
of them.
floor.
Yeah, but yes, I mean, they're speaking in tongues. They're another sect of Christianity. Unfortunately, I'm not so good in the English names of that. Methodism.
Methodism.
But those are the speaking in tongues and walking with snakes people.
Oh yeah, the snake. I think that one of the pastors got bitten by a snake, right? And he died.
Yes, it happens every so often. I mean,
Oh Lord. What about Shintoism? That is the to the
Sin-
left of Africa.
oh yes, the one that it looks like a sun,
No,
or which
not
one?
that. The left one. The one that looks like a
Oh,
gate.
the one like a little house, like
Yeah. That one.
next to
oh,
Africa, the red one,
yes,
Yeah.
Shinto.
Shinto. Yeah.
Mm, the thing is, they had their share of bad stuff, but
Still
they and
do.
I yeah they did. See, Shintoism was the primary Japanese religion before
Yes,
Buddhism caught up.
yes.
So,
Mm.
and when it was the primary religion of Japan, unsurprisingly, it did a lot of bad stuff under its name. But the thing is, it's not a present danger anymore. Like it's very obsolete, and people who maybe are connected to Shintoism are just connected to a cultural
Right.
identity.
Mm.
Uh, but if you want to go deep into that, I would avoid it. So maybe just because it's obsolete now, avoid it if you can.
And occasionally there are sects that ripple up and do weird or, in some cases, even murderous things.
Oh yeah, that did
Oh
emerge
yeah.
in the 1900s after World War, but I think during the Cold War era when few Shintoist cults emerged out of nowhere and they went into murderous spree, and they were small cults, so it was not that difficult to put them
And
down.
and there is, of course, through Hindu, the right ritual, Shinto ritual, the veneration of what we call war criminals.
Oh, okay.
There is
I
a,
did not.
there
What
is
is that?
a there's a large temple in Tokyo, I think, but maybe in Japan. A very important temple dedicated to the war dead, as in particularly the fallen. That as such is not a problem, but part of the people they are sort of venerated. At least prayers are said for them. Priests do rituals for them, who in our eyes are war criminals and
Okay, I
have
think I
been
found it.
went to prison for that or were executed for that.
Okay. I think I don't remember all of it, but I think I am connecting it a bit during the Meiji Restoration maybe. Yasukuni Shrine. It's in Tokyo.
Yes,
Okay. So,
and I
which
mean.
one will go in what tier? Not so bad.
No,
Avoid bad.
I'll say
Avoid if
avoid
you
if you
can.
can.
If
I
you can.
agree. It's in that tire only because it's obsolete now.
Okay.
When it was in its era, it would be in the same level of Hinduism, Christianity, etc.
Yes.
Okay. Um. Oh, I see.
What
There
was
is like
the
a Maya religion.
Yes, there is
Uh,
indeed.
this one is like
Um,
is
Oh,
next to the sun.
we can do Jainism.
Which one?
Jainism.
oh,
Where?
Jainism, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that one.
There we are.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the mildly offensive imagery. Or,
Yeah, and it's like,
uh,
ouch.
I mean, I'm well aware that it doesn't have the same meaning.
Yeah, it doesn't. In fact, swastika is a prominent symbol in Hinduism as well.
Yes,
Mhm.
and I mean I'm aware of that, but that doesn't make the symbol
Less.
much less offensive.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, can't do much about it. The thing with Jainism is Jainism has its problem, but I'll say the problems of Jainism is mostly confined to the people in Jainism. They are a bit closely not in the form of Judaism. They are a bit, purity oriented people with very dumb beliefs and stuff. But something of them is bad, is good, but it's better to be around Jains than being one. I'll say they are peaceful by tenant, like they cannot harm people. Although I'm sure there are Jains in history who have hurt people, but the religious tenant is not hurting anything, not just people. That is the core tenant of Jainism. I forgot who the something Jain. The founder was something Jain. The Jainism name comes from that. I forgot the full name, but since their problems are limited to that, I'll say bad idea if you want to follow it. But other than that, they're not that problematic. They also are a bit pushy about pushing their purity onto others, but they don't have much control over that because they're still a minority. Although they are respected by uh, theistic Hindus because their purity matches with the Hinduism purity bullshit. But that's very contextual. I'll say they don't have much power and their problems are confined to themselves. So bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Bad idea. Mhm.
there we go.
What else do we recognize? The thing is, I don't recognize most of them.
Yeah, I don't either.
Let me.
Let me see what else. Uh, Pantheism. I have heard of it, but I really don't know what they believe. Um,
Pantheism, I have a vague idea. I don't remember very well. I looked it up quite a long time ago. Pantheism is not believing in any specific god.
yeah,
It's like believing in nature
like
as a
as
godly figure because that at least exists, and accepting that since we don't know for sure there is no god, there might be a possibility, but not in a way that any religious bullshit tells you to.
yeah. I think
So it's
that's what I heard about them too. Like they say, okay, there is a God that just doesn't care. It's there.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
don't.
I
It
think
don't interact with us. Stuff
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that.
I'll say Wes he's somewhat right about that. That in pantheism everything is God kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is everything is
so
God. Yeah.
yeah, I'll say not so. No, I'll say maybe
I know so
because
bad. Maybe.
I think calling it not so bad feels wrong. So maybe in the same level of spaghetti monster, it's not bad in any form, but it doesn't achieve
No,
much either.
it's. I mean, it doesn't have much content, and so
Yeah,
in that respect, it's meh.
yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
that's true. That's true.
But I'm not aware of people hurting other people for it because it has very little content.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and if you look at the pantheists, the popular ones, you will find they're mostly scientists who don't want to adhere to religion, but yeah, in a way, like a lot of scientists, scientific figures call
Hmm.
themselves as pantheists because they don't want to associate with any religion, but they want to be hardcore about the possibilities and they call themselves atheists. So it's like a middle ground as a socialist movement kind of thing. So yeah,
Um, I mean, the Dutch have our own brand of that, eachism, each meaning something. A vague belief of something above us that has or doesn't have any connection with us and that they feel happy about believing in. It doesn't do anything for me, but I
yeah,
know
yeah, 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 yes,
several
exactly,
people
similar.
who can talk an
Oh,
hour about
and
that.
I think that the one that we haven't mentioned and is also really big is Mormonism.
Ah, right. But we should avoid getting into
I think
that.
is yeah, I think that's the last one that we should touch and then
Yes,
and then
yes, and
finish.
when we should really close this session. Yes. So
Yeah.
which is it? Mormonism.
Mormonism is the first one. Is the first
Ah,
icon now.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the icon of Mormonism. Huh.
Yeah, they have like a trumpet with Gabriel or something like that.
Ah, okay.
Presumably, good. Vuvuzela.
At times, I will think that it will be like criminal organization because of all the money they have. But
They are very rich, I'm
yeah,
told.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
The thing is, if you look into the formation of Mormonism, the guy who founded it, just like the
It
guy
was a
who
con
founded
artist.
Scientology,
Yes, yes.
yeah, it's very
Really.
clear.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love the South Park episode about how the Mormons came about. Dum, 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 dum.
Man, South Park is great. I love South Park. I
And
haven't watched the entire series though. I have
yeah,
watched the movie and some clips.
yes. Anyway, it's yes. I mean, do you believe that? Are you blind?
Yeah.
And I understand that this happened in the 1800s. There was no internet, not that that helps. There was,
Yeah.
I mean, not a widely popular printed press about skeptic thought, but it's so silly. And indeed, they were very successful because they are very rich now.
Look, a
Wait,
convicted con artist. Yes.
he has been convicted? That's something I didn't know.
I think he was convicted.
I'm
Yeah. And you know, there
I
is
mean, I'm aware that what's name was ran out of town a few times, maybe including a feather and tar business. I'm not sure about
yeah.
that. This may be my imagination. But yes, I mean, not all people fell for him.
I remember that there is one story that a
Oh, yeah,
Mormon
Mr. Smith, of
friend
course.
told me. There is a ton of stories, but there is one story that was pretty funny to me. That this guy was like trying to translate supposedly some golden tablets, and the wife of one of his followers was like, "No, this is bullshit." So she hit the translation, and when he couldn't find it, was like, What are we gonna do now?" And she said, "Well, why don't you just translate it again?" So in that way, she will knew like if he was making it up
Dum
or
dum
if it
dum
was
dum.
being a real translation. And of course, he didn't translate it. He translate or attempt to translate again, but the way that he did it was like, "Oh well, this part was already transcript, so I'm going to skip." Yeah.
Um, I remember a bit of a conversation Stephen Fry had about how he was kicked out of Salt Lake City because of a sarcastic remark he made. Look it up; it's quite funny. I think they're clear and present danger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Most
Actually,
recently, they have a fine from the Trade Commission of the U.S. They were
Maybe
fined
even
five
criminal
millions
organization.
of dollars because they were hiding 33 billion or I think it was
Oh,
of
oh,
dollars
that
in ghost companies
if
around.
that's
Yeah,
if that sticks, we're firmly in criminal organization.
yeah.
no,
I think
actually,
that
no, no. They are straight up criminal organization. I mean, like even technically speaking, even legally speaking, they are criminal. The only reason it feels a bit doubtful placing them there is because we are placing them there besides Scientology, who also have blood on their hand, but they are legally criminal.
yeah.
I
Yep.
decided.
Yeah. Good. Good. Okay,
I think it's about.
yeah,
Yeah,
we should
go ahead.
finish
Oh,
this stream.
yes, that. I mean, it's been fun. Thank you for joining us. That's also, of course, for our viewers. I don't think I have much more to say for the moment. So it's time to. Do you? Yes, the mom book wasn't eaten by a goat. No.
Now
Okay.
I'm very tempted to buy one and feed one.
Oh, you should. Definitely you should read it. It's like you can, and there's stuff that you cannot believe. It's very funny when, yeah, if you read it. Some of the parts are like, are you serious?
Oh boy.
Okay.
So yeah, well, I don't think I have much to add. Um, apart from this was quite an enjoyable episode. Hope you liked it, and I'll
It
say
will.
goodbye. Okay.
Yeah, I had fun. I'll suggest we can do a follow up where we choose, let's say, 10 religion outside the one we have placed. Like there's a lot of that I can see I don't even recognize. We can choose 10 from them
Mm-hmm.
and then have a tire just on that 10. It will be fun
Oh yeah,
because
the
I think,
rituals. Yeah, like the funny ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that can be fun because I don't recognize most of them.
No,
Okay.
there's quite a few very minor religions, although some of them are old and still being believed in, Zoroastrianism, for instance.
Mhm.
Um, there is another episode in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We should.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so till that time, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.